Well, hello everyone, and welcome to HoGaLe's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. All right, this is going to be an interesting show tonight because I'm not in my usual place. I'm actually friends at the moment. They're actually watching the Olympics in the background. So I'm going to try and keep my voice down reasonably. I wasn't able to kind of film in the flat because my friend was worried about the Airbnb there, etc. and stuff like that. So less than ideal conditions. Just to let you know as well, Lady G will not be able to join us on the show tonight. She didn't realize she's out traveling around, and she didn't realize that that today was Saturday for the show. So she says she's not able to make that. And I've not been able to see Lena yet. Oh, wait a minute. I think she's just turned up. Add to stage.
Ah,
Aha,
hello,
you're
possums.
in. Lena, I wasn't sure if I would be starting the show without you, but you're here. Thanks so much for joining me. And it's slightly different, Lena. As you can see, I'm in Paris, but I'm staying with friends. I'm not in the flat where I was before, so I've got friends watching the Olympics in the background. So I'm trying to keep my voice down. And Lady G will not be able to join us tonight. She says she didn't realize it was Saturday tonight, and she's out off driving, of course, with the dogs and all of that stuff. So, and I'm doing this off my phone, by the way. So this is all
Like that.
Indeed. However, I do have the questions, which are
written on Le Sac. Yes.
written on the back of the bag, of which I bought my French tarot cards because I forgot my original tarot cards and Shakespeare at home, folks. So sorry about that. No Shakespeare tonight. But as you know, I do my best wherever I am.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. So it's a two-hander. It's a little bit stressful, but we're here, so it's all good. What have you been up to, Lena, since we spoke last week? Anything interesting before we start the show?
Not really. I'm just totally preoccupied by the cold. It was starting to thaw out, and now this morning it was 0 degrees. What is that?
That's how cold does it normally get in Australia then?
Not that cold. I mean, I live in a cold city, that's for sure. But this is ridiculous,
Wow.
Freezing.
Have you had frost, stuff like that?
Yeah. All my tropical plants that I have down here, they've made it through the winter, and this last frost just went.
Bless. Oh dear, my goodness. I'm sorry to hear about that. But good news is, of course, is that it's changing. The seasons are changing. So summer or spring is slowly starting to come your way, and
Yes, so they say. Yeah.
We're edging into autumn. No problem. So would you like us to just kick off? We've got plenty of time.
Yes, I think we should.
All right, so here we are. So this question has come in from Nick Minks, and this is a UK-based question. So, and I've abbreviated everyone's answers, by the way, because A, I had to write them down, and B, some of them were quite long. So these are abbreviations. So last Monday, this is UK, last Monday, 3 girls killed and several injured. So sadly, in the UK, three girls sadly were knifed to death. I think there's no other word to say it. Several injured, triggering protests across the UK. There's a lot of misinformation from influencers antagonizing the situation. Do the cards show if outside sources are using the internet to inflame the situation more? So, Lena, do you know about this? I mean, because
Yes,
I've been
yes,
away.
and there's
What's been
something like
happening?
11 others in hospital or something. Terrible little kids.
I know it was happened in Southport, didn't it? Southport.
Yeah.
And apparently there's been protests and stuff like that, but I'm not sure what the protests are about because I've been away, so I don't really have any idea.
Mm. So the question is
so the
there...
question is, are outsiders and basically social media influencers using the internet to inflame the situation further with misinformation?
Yeah. Oh my God. So in the UK, like Australia, it's a big deal when there's multiple killings simultaneously. You know.
Very.
Let's have a look here.
Get the Knight of Swords and cards like that, that would suggest, or the devil, you know.
Well, I don't know. It's so horrible. It's so horrible. And yes, the guy who allegedly knifed them is alive. He's in court. You know, he's had his initial court appearance very young. He's 17. I think he turns 18 this week. I can go if you like, Hoagie.
Go for it. Go for it, Lena.
This is a situation that actually doesn't work for anybody except the far right. Apparently, he was Rwandan born in the UK. Wow. And so it comes down to racism. You know, I'm sure people would be radically upset if the alleged killer had been any ethnicity. However, with this Page of Pentacles bringing news, I think this is on the one hand, the government trying to calm things down, but with the Hangman here, things will be slow for now, but also the new perspective, which was, aha, he's black. Therefore, in answer to the question, yes, there is momentum behind it because of the ethnicity of this young man. The court system is coming into play, but I think he'll be whisked away very quickly with the Chariot here. I'd imagine there'll be mental health assessments and stuff going on now, but I think expect more news in this direction. They're looking how to make the news of his race go huge, how to make this grow. Like, where do you start and stop? It's like after the attempted assassination of Trump, the relief for people that on the one hand, he was a Republican registered voter and that he was white. None of these things should matter in the world, but they do, and they'll milk it. So in answer to the question, yes, they'll milk it.
Very interesting. And I've just noted some comments here. So hopefully I'm doing this off my phone, guys, so it doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite, oh gosh. When I scroll, it doesn't give me the...
Oh, I can do comments, yeah.
Yeah, so here, there's one that I've come in that I've starred, and I'm just scrolling down a bit. So Angela Locke, if I put that up, saying another protest was against immigrants in a hotel which was smashed. So there's, because there have been multiple protests apparently. Someone here, Salome, said this is horrible and Farage hasn't condemned the violent behavior. Well, that's Nigel Farage for you. And then Salome said it's about immigrants and it's just right-wing thuggery. Tories allowed this to rise, but Starmer won't allow it. So that was just some feedback there. Anything else you're seeing in the comments?
Yes, I think this is interesting from Ireland. Ireland comparatively recently had big immigration protests. Here in Dublin, investigations discovered that the majority of Twitter posts about it were from bots outside of Ireland. Russia has grubby little hands. And so this is a gift to the right in that sense. And yet statistically, the majority of killers, particularly mass killers, are Anglos. But we won't let a fact stand in the way of a good prejudice, you know.
Wow, fascinating. Okay, so the cards that I've got, I mean, this really is pretty much a cold read for me. I'm just like, you know, obviously I've been away. So now what's interesting, the first card that comes out is Temperance, or La Temperance, of course, because I'm using the French deck. So this is quite interesting. So Temperance, of course, talks about wanting to calm things, balance things out, produce alchemy. Maybe the two sides trying to get two sides maybe to talk to each other, but this is also talking about trying to blend two opposites as well. And so in a way, I'm reading this card on a multiple level, because on one hand, this could be showing there can be those that want to bring two sides together. But what's interesting with the Temperance, it really is about two separate elements. So in a way, in this context, it's almost like two very opposite perspectives, and more the differences being greater than what they're being able to connect on. Do you see what I mean? So I'm interpreting that card slightly differently, particularly because the next card here in the obstacle position is the Four of Swords, which can of course talk about being wounded in battle, being retired, and sometimes this card can talk about death. So I think this is literally talking about the three girls, of course, that are dead and the others injured. And I think also as well, because it's children that have died, that is particularly triggering as well in general as well. So this is this is very unusual for the UK. We just don't have this kind of thing very often. So I think there we've got the death here. Now, in the middle card, we've got the King of Wands. So let's not forget as well, wands are all about fire, passion, heat. So this could be talking about impassioned males in particular. Whether or not this is the actual killer himself, I doubt that, because apparently he's quite young, isn't he? He's only, what, 17? So, I mean, he wouldn't be showing up as a king. I think this is probably more, this might be talking about more males, maybe perhaps on the far right, who are maybe looking to kind of agitate or inflame things that much further in order to score political points. This could even be someone like a Farage, who of course is always looking for those. He is one of the ultimate opportunists when it comes to these kind of political situations anyway. And I think there were recent riots as well in up in the north of England, what was it? Do you remember there was that riot or something, Lena, and it was part of the Pakistan community or something like that, and he was jumping on that bandwagon as well. So for me, I think this is like a Farage or a Farage type characters, wherever they are all over the world, but influential, because it's a king. Now, if we look here in the question of, is there manipulation? If we look here, just in case we weren't sure, we get the Magician. Yeah, we get the Magician. Now, this card can be a very positive card, but when you are asking questions about manipulation, etc., sophistry, the like, and this card comes up, is pretty much a yes. So yes, it is being manipulated. Here you can see every tool in the book is being used. And because the king is here, it shows that there is a broader spread. So it's looking a bit more that of an international influence as well. But this is quite two major cards. And if we look here, interesting card that we have as the outcome, which is the Seven of Pentacles. Sometimes in the shadow, this can talk about the spoiled harvest. But this can also talk as well about maybe those who are invested or have made investments in the far right are seeing this as an opportunity to reap some kind of reward or some kind of fruits or harvest. Do you see? So there is a bit of cynicism here where those that are inclined to exploit the situation are seeing as an opportunity to fructify the perspectives on the far right, which we've seen kind of gaining traction around the world. So that's my take. What would you like to add to that, Lena?
Well, from the comments, Froxy Roxy says, remember that the far right are doing everything they can to get attention because more and more people are moving away from all the hate and racism. So it's, you know, they're not dead yet. You know.
Yeah, trying very hard. Are you ready for the next question, Lena?
Yes, please.
All right, so this is coming from Elizabeth Carrier. I think that's how you say it. And I've severely abbreviated this one because I didn't have enough time to write it down. Sorry, Elizabeth. Will Mike Johnson, this is kind of like a two-hander. Will Mike Johnson be around for long? And then the same has been asked for JD Vance. So I thought we could do 3 cards each on each man. Yeah. So will Mike Johnson be around for long? 3 cards on him and then JD Vance.
All right. So Mike Johnson, it's a miracle he's still there at the moment. Really. Here we go.
I mean, politics is so extraordinary at the moment, isn't it, Lena? Just absolutely extraordinary.
Sorry if I'm croaky. I'm losing my voice this weekend and I've just had to suck down a lozenge in order to be able to speak.
Oh, bless you. You've made it, and that's the most important thing.
Okay, so Mike Johnson and his speakership. What's going on here?
Mike Johnson, 3 cards.
Okay, so for Mike Johnson, I think with this 3 of Wands, which traditionally is interpreted as waiting for your ships to come in, I think it operates both ways. I think it can also be putting your ships out there. I think he's constantly combing for allies because of the algorithm. I'll cover the naked bodies. This is the lover's card, right? So he's shoring up allies. He's not stupid, so he knows he has to do that, but it's a constant process. And that's what he's doing. I think he will be here for a little while. What's a while in US politics? But a little while, and he's constantly juggling and having to watch his back. But I don't see he's gone by next Wednesday sort of scenario.
Yeah. My cards are quite interesting. I'm just going to kind of read them verbatim, actually. Because they seem to be saying it very, very clearly. So will he be around for long? 10 of Swords.
He's constantly under pressure. Yeah.
Constantly under pressure. He is on constant threat of betrayal, backstabbing. You can imagine Marjorie Taylor Greene and all the others. He's with a nest of vipers. He's swimming in a pool filled with sharks. So I think he's very aware that he could literally be stabbed in the back and removed at any moment, just in case he wasn't sure. If he is, I think some people might be quite happy about it. It's a big celebration. 3 of Cups here, people coming together in celebration. So I think he recognizes as well that he's probably not that popular, but there is enough, just the tiniest semblance of sanity left where they're not going to try and throw him out yet, because even for them, that would even be even more absurd than the absurdities that they've done already. But he knows a lot of people will be happy to see the back of him.
Yes.
And the second he's gone, guess what? Someone else is just going to charge up to take his place. This is the Knight of Wands, but it may as well be Marjorie Taylor Greene on horseback. to be honest, because she would be the first.
Lady Godiva Green.
Lady Godiva Green. So I think he might be around for now, but he really does have to watch his back. A lot of people, I don't think he's that popular, and they want rid of him.
And ironically, the reason the hard right don't like him is because he occasionally, you know, does a vote in the right place or something, even though he's doing damage in his own right. The fact he even speaks to Dems and all of that, you know, like, so he can't win.
Yeah, it's just extraordinary. The second he does anything remotely sane, you know, the knives are out for him again. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So shall we pull 3 cards on JD Vance?
JD.
Will he be around?
JD isn't having a good introduction to the world stage, is he, really? And the couch jokes just keep coming.
What's this about? What's this about the couches and humping dolphins or something? What's this about?
Look, I haven't read Hillbilly Elegy, but apparently, can people in the comments let us know? I think it came from his own book about as a young thing, somehow having sex with the couch, not on the couch, with the couch. And then bizarrely, you know how it is when you're stressed and you think, oh, I mustn't use that word or something, but it's there in your brain. So when he was speaking recently, he said, I'd bring my wife up to speak, but then I'd be on the couch. And it wasn't a joke. I think it just fell out of his face. So he's got this problem with furniture as well as everything else.
Someone in the comments was saying that my voice was a bit low. It's because I'm not able to basically shout and project as I usually do, folks, because there are other people around. So I'm going to be a little bit more quiet. Just turn the volume up. I can't.
And I'm croaky, so you may have to turn the volume up.
Yeah. And I can't use my full voice as I normally would, guys. Sorry, folks.
And another comment. Yes, what's with the eyeliner? He wears a lot of eyeliner.
JD Vance.
Yes, you heard that correctly. He wears a lot of eyeliner. Someone says like he's in a boy band in the 80s.
Wow. I thought he just had dark eyelashes because his eyes are very, very pale. So he could just, it may look like that way, but you never know.
No.
Interesting.
And Nancy says, JD is a fake. His elegy is coming. Think not for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for you, JD.
But people have been coming up with nicknames, and the one that comes to me is quite a simple one. I call him the albatross because that's what he is.
He is an albatross.
Albatross for Trump and the party in general. I just think he's just bad news. He's just
absolutely. And Susan says her favorite comment was that it was a one-night stand with the couch. Okay, what's happening? I've moved to the circus cards because that's all he deserves, really. Okay.
And he reminds me.
Oh no!
I don't know if you've seen it, Lena, but he reminds me of that cat. Have you guys seen that weird cat on the internet where the guy is in New York? He's screaming in a New York or New Jersey accent. And he's like, Ma, Ma, and he's effing and blinding. He's like, Ma, Ma, there's an effing weird cat. It looks like Grandma, and I don't know if you've seen it, but the cat boggled eyes like this. And it's got that, these two like, I wanted to do a printout of it before I left. I'll have to do that when I'm back in the UK. I'm going to show a printout of this cat. And for me, this cat is JD Vance, and how fitting with it. So what cards do you have, Lena?
Oh, well, they couldn't be simpler. This is like Sesame Street for tarot readers, right? JD Vance. he gets the Justice card, not in the traditional legal sense. I think he gets his justice for selling out as a never-Trumper to now sucking into the Yeti's armpit on a daily basis. I mean, this is the justice he's looking at. This is my Republican card in this deck, the 9 of Elephants. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Look how powerful we are. Look at JD. Then he gets the Devil and the Tower. Oh, it's adios, JD Vance, even if he stays there. And we should all be grateful he was the pick, because I was worried about him, right? I thought, oh, he might appeal to, redneck states and he can talk to blue liberals and stuff, but it turns out he can't talk to anyone. And look at these cards for the party, not just JD Vance.
My gosh. I mean, Duck L'Orange definitely picked the wooden spoon with him. I mean, he really got
but did he pick him?
No, he didn't. He didn't. That's
the machine picked him.
Yeah. So what I'll just add in before I read my cards. So let me just scroll up. So Edie, thank you so much for your generous and kind donation. Much appreciated.
Edie.
So thank you, Edie, there. Let's scroll up. And then Sybil says his next book will be Hillbilly Eulogy, The Death of His Political Career.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Or Hillbilly Horror Show. And then Dorian saying, I wonder how Teal and Vance met. Good question.
Yeah.
Probably on a parking lot somewhere, I'd imagine. Something like that. Yeah, on a parking lot somewhere. And then Patrick Duncan said, where anyone else agree, but these right-wing wacko-doodles who want to play gender police, they get all the ridicule I can muster. So, yeah, there's so much going on. All right, JD Vance's cards, my 3. What did I get?
What did you get?
I got Reine de Coupes, so I got the Queen of Cups. Now, this is really interesting because when you're reading ordinary people, the Queen of Cups can talk about someone who's creative, who is imaginative, who is sensitive. And of course, he does have some creativity to him, and he's able to write a book, etc. Now, this is interesting, but could this also be talking about his wife? Could this be talking about his wife? But let's say it isn't the wife, and let's say this is an aspect of him. If you notice here, the Queen of Cups always has this big cup here, but within it are secrets. So I think really what's happening is that it is just emerging more and more, all of this stuff, this deeply weird, strange stuff about JD Vance, the goggled-eyed cat. When I get the picture up of the cat next week, you'll understand what I mean. And it's like people are just genuinely like, what else is going to come out about this guy? What else could there possibly be? So we're still learning who this person is. And clearly, obviously, Duck L'Orange is finding out more by the day and doesn't like what he sees.
Yes.
If you look here, JD Vance is a pretty stubborn guy. Yeah, he's going to keep hammering away, doubling down on all the crazy batshit that comes out of his mouth. Because even though these comments that he made about, cat women and all of this kind of stuff, they were made a few years ago. But the point is he doubled down. He doubled down on those comments. And he doesn't know how to read a room. So whatever he's doing, he's going to carry on with his weirdness indefinitely until he's forcibly stopped, I would imagine.
Yeah, let him rip,
Yeah, exactly. He's just going, someone is going to bring this to an end. At some point, someone is going to bring this to a stop. And I'm sure Duck L'Orange and a few of his advisors are trying to work out what they can do in regards to the rules to get rid of this guy, because he's just bringing a halt to the whole campaign, and he's a dead weight. If we look at it this way, he's a dead weight. You see, dead weight. So I think we'll have to see, or will he just hang around like the albatross, like I said, like the albatross around
Yes,
Dr.
he
Roch's
is.
neck? Will they be able to get rid of him, Lena? Maybe they won't be able to get rid of him. He
I
just
think
stays
it's too late. People can let
there.
us know in the comments, but I think it's legally and technically too late to do it. Please.
So there he is. He's going to hang around like a bad smell or a bad penny. Oh dear, poor you, Dr. Roch. Oops.
Um,
Are you ready for the next question?
yes. Oh, intrepid viewer in the comments said she just bought a Weird Sisters t-shirt as a nod to Shakespeare, because I think it's the witches who are called the Weird Sisters, or is it another reference? And now she can't wear it because they're being described as weird on the, and that's been very effective. Very effective campaign.
Just so you know, I got a data message on my phone. I should be on international roaming data, but if something cuts out for some reason, then we know why. So I just thought I'd give you guys the heads up.
No.
We'll have to see. Doing it off the cuff. Anyway, Nick Mix asks, this is an interesting one. Mystery around US woman found starving and chained to a tree in India.
Ah.
In notes, she said her Indian husband left her there 40 days ago. Do the cards show what the truth could be? How interesting.
Oh. Ooh, yeah. What do we want to know? Ooh.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? But, you know, interesting question.
So was it her husband? Is that the question?
Yeah, or what's the truth of the situation? Why did he leave her chained to a tree? Is she telling the truth? What's the situation? US woman chained to a tree, left there 40 days ago. What scenario?
Well, she must have been receiving food and water, however basic, to be alive after 40 days.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because you can't survive 40 days without water, that's for sure. Unless she was chained, I don't know, next to a river or something. We don't know how long the chains were.
Okay. Terrible story.
Let's see. That can't be right. Yeah, I had my deck upside down. Okay. That means the card that was the right way up is the reversal. How interesting.
Oh, this isn't what I was expecting at all.
What do you have, Lena?
Well, I saw these cards and thought, what's going on? And then I sort of got it. So it starts with the world. So because it's a dramatic story, it captures the world's attention for a moment in the very speedy world of the world's attention. But here we have this Three of Pentacles, which is, in this case, nefarious people working together. The husband had allies, somehow, whether it was whose farm it was on, or just how do you hide an American woman for 40 days chained to a tree? So there were others. The ships are returning in this case. Surprisingly, it's not going to go away. It could become, and I think this is, if you could find good news in a horrific story, this is it. It could change how people talk about women being treated in India by husbands when it goes really wrong. Because I see women celebrating. Please don't think for a nanosecond it's about her pain and suffering. But it's like this draws attention to the world of honor killings and punishments.
Wow, very interesting.
So it's not in vain if that is the case. But what a terrible story.
Gosh. And this is so interesting because you remember the Queen of Cups came up just before. We were
Yeah.
talking about JD Vance, and I said maybe that could be his wife. Now look at this. The Queen of Cups is back, but this time she turns reversed. How interesting. You saw me shuffle the deck. Queen turned up reversed. So in a way, if we look at this from the perspective, this might be talking with the perspective of the husband here. He obviously didn't like his wife. There was something about that relationship or that situation clearly he didn't like. But I mean, there is such a thing as called divorce. You don't have to chain her to a tree. And you know, I mean, what's that all about? But definitely something went wrong. It's almost like the marriage was upside down, or there was something unexpected, maybe something to do around emotional or psychological health of either party, but maybe he deemed her not fit in some kind of way. Yeah, because it is a queen. If it was the King of Cups reversed, that would talk more about his mental state. If we look here, we see the Five of Cups, so quite literally sadness. This is her obviously realizing her marriage is over. Yeah, because I mean, if your partner changes to a tree and basically, you know, leaves, that's not great. And just in case we weren't sure what it was all about, look at this. We got the Eight of Cups. So he literally chained to a tree and just left.
Yeah.
Literally just walked away. So for whatever it was, would it be that if he divorced her, then there would have been complications connected with that? Maybe he was just hoping that she would literally die. He could have literally just left her for dead, because this is the Eight of Cups is literally just walking away, abandoning something. He abandoned her.
Yeah, I think there are other people, giving her water or something.
Yeah, there must have been. This could have maybe been some of the other people that were helping her. Maybe they managed to get the message out, because pages are all about messages. And the Page of Wands is known as the orator in particular. So there was someone that was able to raise the alarm. And so obviously she must have had water, because whether it was rainwater or she was near a river or someone gave her water, because you can't survive for 40 days without water. But food, yeah, she must have been extremely weak. So maybe someone spoke up. And then the outcome card, I think this is talking about her rescue and her relief. Hopefully, I imagine she's back in the United States. If she's not back in the United States, then maybe she's on her way. Very traumatic experience, but this is probably talking about the relief of being discovered, of being heard, and of being able to tell her story. So my sense is that this was huge relief that her situation had ended, because she'd just basically been abandoned. So I think something went wrong in the marriage, and rather than divorce her, he was probably hoping maybe there was something to do with life insurance or something like that. But either way, it wasn't right, was it, Lena?
No. And Intrepid Viewer says she's still alive. She was a yoga student from America, and she was found in the jungle forest by a shepherd.
So the Page of Wands was the shepherd. Wow. What a scenario. So he left her in the forest, literally left her in the forest to die. He was probably hoping she'll get eaten by a tiger or something. That's probably what he was hoping for. Wow. Interesting question, eh? Yeah. Interesting question. All right. Are we ready for the next question, Nina?
Yes.
All right. So this is interesting. I don't know anything about this, so I'm going to need your help on this one. Wheezy Squeezebox asked, the Falcon Gone, I hope I'm saying this right, the Falcon Gone Protection Act, HR 4132, unanimously passed the House and is now referred to the Senate. Will it be passed this Congress and signed into law by Biden? What will the repercussions be? So what is this, Lena?
I'm sorry, I don't know what it is.
Oh, you don't know either?
No.
Sorry,
Falun Gong, I know that organization. Mainland China's very down on the Falun Gong. sorry, I'm not sure we can do it.
I mean, I'm clueless. I've got no
Yeah.
idea. Shall we scroll through? Who's asked us a question that you like the look of, Lena, and maybe we can ask that instead.
Yeah. So, maybe we should look at Paris and the Olympics, and is it going to go forward sort of incident-free or not?
Well, it's been pretty good so far. I must say, I'm so glad that I came. It's been sensational. Now, Lena, prepare yourself.
Yes.
I got to see Iga Swiatek playing.
Wow. Yes.
Women's number one. She got beaten by Zhang in China, who played fabulously.
Okay.
And the next match on after that was Alcaraz.
Oh, bless the baby.
It was a fantastic match, and it was pretty closely contended. It was Tommy James, I think, that was playing against him, who put a fabulous fight. He almost won the set. He saved 2 match points, but Alcaraz was too strong in the end. But I can say, being here, the atmosphere feels very good. There's a lot of police and protection. It does feel very, very safe. So I'll be surprised if that's the case. But shall we just do a general read? And
we'll just do a general read on the Olympics. Okay. So I was in Sydney when we hosted the Olympics there. And like most locals, before the Olympics in your city, everyone gets grumpy because there's so much going on. You think, why are you spending these millions of dollars on this? But the vibe when it's actually happening is extraordinary.
It's really amazing. And we saw the Olympic cycling today, Lena. And I'll tell you something funny, guys, because I'm very jamming. I'm very lucky. Now, remember, I didn't have any intention of being in the Paris Olympics at all. I couldn't have been less interested.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that there's tickets for the tennis, which I love. Anyway, so I'm walking around Montmartre because I've never been there before, and I've never been to like the Santa Cur, what have you. So I was like, wow,
it's amazing. Yes,
it's really amazing. Hadn't been before. Going up the hill and all this stuff, and my friend Mark is like, "Oh, it'd be nice if we can watch a bit of the cycling." And I'm like, "Well, okay, let's see what we can find." Anyway, we're rummaging around, and I said to my friend Mark, I said, "Mark, it is gin o'clock. It's time for a drink. It's boiling." We sit down at this restaurant, and it only turns out to be right on the route.
Oh, perfect.
And they went past us 3 times. And I stuck my arm out and filmed it all. So we ate food, drank wine, ate cheese, and then we're like, oh, cycling.
Oh, what a treat. That's hilarious. But it is amazing when you're in an Olympic city. From that point of view, people are from everywhere.
Yeah.
And being nice to each other.
Yeah.
Unlike the rest of the other 3 years and whatever. So it is special. And did you see an athlete from St. Lucia got the first Olympic medal for St. Lucia?
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And the UK
She'll be a goddess forever. So Paris and the Olympics.
Yeah, what do you have, Lena? And we have got 1,780 of you with us now. Thank you so much for joining us. Much appreciated. Okay,
so I've got the victory card here generally, meaning I think Paris pulling it off. It's always a risk in any city because there's so many moving parts to keep control of, and anything that goes wrong gets magnified around the world. So this to me is good news for Paris. So there's some confusion over messaging at some point. And this could be a sporadic outbreak of something, stinky fish, something. But like you were saying, there's a visible presence of so many gendarmes and every other thing. Keep an eye on it. And I get the sun overall. So I think it'll be all right. They can absorb certain, negative actions and stuff. They're onto it.
Absolutely.
That's what you get.
Let's say here. 1 second here. Here, just to add this to the chat. It's a JD Vance, but Mercury Angel said, no matter what the rumors are about Vance, the cat lady remark and telling women to stay in an abusive relationship sunk him. Yeah, I agree.
It totally did. And he keeps going on and digging the hole deeper.
It keeps going mental. I've never heard such political stupidity come out of someone. Not even Duck L'Orange would go there. It's just honestly, but it's true, isn't it? It's like, what?
And he's a young man. How do you have these views at this age?
Yeah, just absolute mother issues. Like I said in my book, a lot of the Republicans, they've got Cato in the 4th house, issues with the mother. Snip, snip. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
The Paris Olympics, the general things. Yes, my goodness, the authorities are out in force. Let me tell you, Lena, it is absolutely wall to wall with police. I must say they do look good in their uniforms, though. So it's not like the usual stuff you see.
No, it's like the Italian police. The Carabinieri have magnificent uniforms. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but there they are. So you can literally feel that presence of authority, the rules and regulations. And by the way, they've got machine guns, so no one's really going to be messing with those. It's just automatic rifles, with this kind of stuff. So no one's going to be messing around, I don't think. If we look here, this is normally the obstacle position, but the Hierophant is quite a positive card. So here, this is reinforcing that. So quite literally, you can see here is Paris on the world stage. Yeah, the focus, the eyes of the world are on Paris. Quite simple, and I think Paris is basking in the spotlight, just like you said, Lena. People whinge and kvetch and complain. Why are we doing this? All the Parisians says, we are leaving. We do not want this. This is horrible,
Yes.
And guess what? They've all got grins on their face.
Yes.
Everyone is bloody loving it, and the restaurants are just cock-a-hoop because they're all busy, but yet because so many French people left, it's also workable as well, believe it or not. So it's a lovely blend. But eyes of the world and then prospecting. If we look here, we have got the High Priestess. So what this shows is, as usual, there are things behind the scenes that general public are not aware of.
Yes.
Because like Lena says, with the Olympics, there are so many moving parts. Even if there was some kind of threat or risk, we're not going to hear about it.
That's right.
Let the party carry on. It's only if something breaks through. So yes, they're probably aware of certain attempts, particularly from places like Russia, of course, but they're aware of it. If we look here, France is reaping the rewards of seeds sown. Just so people know, they really didn't have to build any major new stadia. So they just repurposed certain infrastructure that existed already. We went to the Brazilian party thing last night, which was COSTA Brazil, and it was all music. I mean, my burger was like 10 days old. They said 12-hour cooked beef, but honestly, you could have sawn off dry skin with the bun. Do you know what I mean? It'd been left bacon for ages. But the whole point is, this is France reaping a rich reward because they didn't have to build so much infrastructure from scratch. They just repurposed. Now, the outcome card here, that might seem a little bit sinister, but I think this really just means rest. Yeah?
Yes.
After the Olympics are done, people are going to be like, oh, thank God, we really enjoyed it. Thank you, bye, and see you later.
Yes, that's right.
So I think this is literally the more benign version. This is Paris resting after the festivities, reflecting and probably thinking, you know what, that was pretty good. They're running it well. Anything to add to that, Lena?
Only that Australia is killing it in the pool. Our women's swimmers were doing very well in the pool.
Now, mind you, last time I checked, the UK was 3rd or 4th in the whole running. We do that. We do well, but it's like a small country.
And I think we're 5th, which isn't bad with our population.
Yeah, well, as long as we're ahead of the Aussies.
Oh, I know. That's the real fight.
All right. So are you ready for the next question?
Yep.
All right. Now, this is a multiple, actually, so we'll probably close out the show with this. So Elizabeth Carriagan says, some psychics predicted Kamala will be elected for a short period. Why? Can you see if Kamala will do her whole term, 4-year terms, assuming she wins? She needs to win first. So shall we, do you want to look at that, or?
Not really.
A bit uncomfortable.
I want to ride the wave while we've got it after 7 years of drama and misery.
How about we just read about the energy around her now?
Yeah.
We just do that? What's the
yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Have a look. Come on. It's just an extraordinary moment in history. Because 6 months ago or a year ago or something, I don't know that she would have this cachet or something that's happening so magically. It's like a timing that.
And it's in her chart. She does have Rahu very strong, and Rahu is the point of the chart of destiny. And it is very powerful in her chart, and it also lines up with the USA chart and the Rahu Dasha that they're in. She's in the Rahu Dasha, USA is in the Rahu Dasha, and it means anything can happen. And one of the things I like to say is that destiny is stronger than luck.
Let's have a look what's happening for Kamala generally. Oh! Oh my God. In a good way. In a good way. These cards, out of 6 cards, 3 are majors. Okay. So in the middle, this is a campaign by and for the exuberance of women coming forward. And as I always like to point out, this is also inclusive of men who support women, of decent thinking, caring men who care about their sisters and their nieces and their grandmothers and everybody. It's just exuberance, which is what's happening around her. It's every picture of her is smiling and laughing. It's just fantastic because she's up to the serious stuff, but she brings joy, is what I'm trying to say. She's winning more people over on a daily basis with the Lovers card here. The work's not done, but she's prepared. She's also on the top of the hill, so she can beat them off when they come with these ridiculous, inane attacks, because it's so obvious that the GOP, particularly with Trump and Vance at the helm, they haven't got the chops. So she's successfully fighting off all comers. She will provide a stable recognition of law and order. Wait for this. We, the world, are so relieved after this anguish and trauma. This is not just an American issue. The fact is, Trump is a global threat because he says blatantly, whoever pays me the most gets my ear, He said to the billionaires, give me $1 billion and I'm yours, and everything that implies for the world. And judgment here, this is the people, I think, rising up to vote in unprecedented numbers. This is a luminous read. But like we said, we didn't go out and out and out. This is sort of now.
Yeah. Now, my cards, as usual, they're very interesting. So I pulled 3 clarifiers, and her 3 clarifiers are astonishing.
Yes, please share.
They're astonishing. So I'll just take you through the humdrum cards, and then you'll see the clarifiers. Anyway, in a funny way, for once, the Knight of Swords is not associated with the GOP. Yes. This is her. Remember, she said, "Bring it on." And I think Duck L'Orange and JD Vance are like, "Oh my God, what are we dealing with? What are we dealing with?" Because she has that vivacity and she has that courage. But the most important thing is she's a prosecutor. So particularly as well, when you see the middle card, which emphasizes it again. So she's prepared to take the fight to Trump and JD Vance, which is not what they're used to.
No, that's right.
If we look here in the obstacle position, we do have the 10 of Wands. So yes, there is lots of work to do. It's not, we know that she's incredibly, charismatic. She's having this groundswell, but I think she's actually working a lot harder than people may think.
Yes, it looks like she just goes out and smiles and waves. A lot of work.
Yeah, but it's a lot of work, guys. She's worked hard for this. But you see, it's not obvious because she's so smooth. But no, she knows how to work. This is a woman who knows how to work. Just in case we weren't sure of her intentions, here she is, the Queen of Swords. So you can imagine Duck L'Orange and JD Vance are dreading. He doesn't want to debate her. He would rather anything else happen than debate her, because she is not the Queen of Swords. She's sharp, astute, intelligent. She is literally a prosecutor. So this can only be Kamala.
That's scary.
Yeah, it can only be Kamala. She is shrewd, she is determined, she knows how to fight, and she knows how to survive. So whatever they throw at her, obviously they're trying to make her, oh, she's incompetent, with the racial dog whistles. Oh, she doesn't know what she's doing, and she didn't defend the border, all of that kind of stuff. But I think this is also what she can do to her opponents as well. I think this is also the GOP are like, what do we do with her? She's so popular. They're just like, oh, feeling, whatever. We look here, irrespective of what happens, her campaign is going to continue to move forward at pace. Look, we got the 8 of Wands here. So, it's just fast. And I think literally many people have been left breathless, particularly the GOP, at her sheer level of popularity. Because remember, they were like, well, she's about the same popularity as Biden. No, that's not proving to be the case. It's moving a lot faster. So it's like, okay, let's have some clarifications on this. Look what Kamala got for her clarification. I'm going to show you all 3 at once. 3 major arcana. And these are probably one of the most sensational you can get in the whole deck. She gets the Empress, the Emperor, and the Magician. So to clarify, she has incredible, well, first of all, she's rich. Her campaign has got a ton of money. Everyone has just thrown everything that they can at her. But also as well, people really enjoying that aspect of the divine feminine. Yeah? Yes. Her femininity is also her great strength, but this is also the inspiration that she can also give to women in general, and the abundance she can potentially bring. Yes. But let's not forget, she's also strong and astute. Her divine masculine is also very well developed. She knows how to go into the battlefield and do business. Like she said, I've locked up fraudsters, molesters, blah, blah, blah. She says, I know Trump's type. Yeah. So she knows how to do that side as well. Yes. And just in case we weren't sure, she's using every tool at her disposal She's in her power. So really, this is a woman who is having a date with destiny. Do you see here?
Yes,
Here's the
yes,
infinity
yes.
here. And for me, in many ways, this is actually representing the Rahu element of her chart. Rahu can be very tricky. He can be very bombastic. But when Rahu brings you something, he can do extraordinary things just on his own. She's in a Rahu dasha. So is the USA, and she's got Rahu in the first house, conjunct Mars, planet of war,
Yeah.
and also conjunct Mars in the USA's chart. So if she just keeps putting her feet forward, her momentum should build. It's going to take something major, but when you've got outcome cards like that, it's tough for Duck Larange and JD Vance.
And it's so unusual to see the Empress and the Emperor together, and she does bring that duality.
Divine masculine and divine feminine together, and the Magician. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, guys.
No.
I mean, we have to see how things transpire. There is free will, but if you're reading on someone's prospects for being president and they're getting cards like that, very hard to argue against it, isn't it? I mean, it's sensational. I've never seen that before.
Yes, yes.
Can you believe it? The time has gone.
And Jenny says Kamala is the right person at the right time in American history, and that's what it's about.
And I just want to say a thank you to Claudia Dobson. Oh, actually, let me just go here. Let me just see if I can find her. Oh gosh, there's a few. Oh, there's lots of people that donated. Thank you so much. I don't know if I have time to
Millenor, thank you. That's very generous.
And then someone else donated as well. I've just seen some super stickers go up, and someone else.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Good
And
on
there was
you,
another
Karen.
one for 20. There's another one for $27, but I can't seem to find it on my phone. But
thank you
everyone who donated. Oh, thank you as well, Christopher. And I'll see if I can scroll. Oh, here it is. And Claudia, thank you. It's $27.
Awesome, guys. And now, Hoagie, will you be back in London next week?
Yes, I'm returning back to London on Monday, so I'm just taking the Eurostar. Don't be jealous, guys, in the States. We just take the train over here.
Yes.
So I'll be back.
Oh, one last comment I'd like to air here. Jimmy Carter, who's is he 99 or something? He says he wants to live to vote for Kamala.
Oh, bless him. Bless him.
Oh.
Bless him. She got sensational cards. Nothing is guaranteed, guys. Let's keep focused. But her cards were amazing. I've never seen anyone get Empress, Emperor, and Magician as clarifiers.
It's insane, isn't it? In the best possible way.
In the best possible way. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us. Much appreciated. There was over 1,800 of you that joined us live. Happy Sunday to everyone joining us as well. This video will be monetized, but I'm not sure how it's going to work because sometimes it does an auto kind of thing. So hopefully it will just be really simple. I don't want too many adverts to be on there. If they are, just skip them for now and then I'll somehow change it up later, but that shouldn't be too bad. Lena, thanks so much for joining me. And
my absolute pleasure. And sorry about the voice.
Mine too as well. I have to keep my voice lower, so I'm not able to project in my usual theatrical ways, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, and I'm sounding like Marion Faithfull, you know.
We're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week, of course. And Lena, have a great time. Stay warm. Yeah, get a water bottle. 0 degrees. Not sure about that.
No. See ya.
Bye, everyone. See you.